Hey there, I'm Ulf Toborek, and in today's video we're going to talk about the latest version of Antelope Audio's Orion 32 Generation 4. To make it short, it's an interface that runs over USB and Thunderbolt. With USB you get 32 ins and outs, and you also have 2 extra outs for stereo monitoring. If you use the digital connectivity, it will also give you an additional amount of ins and outs. So in total you can get 128 ins and outs in this interface running Thunderbolt. And the interface itself, it's only 1 rack unit, so it's extremely space efficient. If you have, like me, you have a studio where you already have all the mic pre's and everything, so you don't actually need an interface with built-in mic pre's. There's no actual need to pay for those extra features, so this kind of product is really excellent. Yeah, so this is how I have it set up in my home studio. It's in the rack here with some outboard gear, 24 channels running out to the console, and from 25 to 32 is running through some outboard gear, and I will show you how I have it set up. Inside Orion 32 control and routing software, it looks like this. And this is my home setup, which is really simple. And I used to have the first generation of Orion 32, and as I remember, you couldn't turn off different routing options. Here we can just have the ones we use lit up. So now I have line in and DAW out in inputs. And outputs I have line out and DAW in. I don't like to clutter the screen with stuff that I don't really need at the moment, and then when I need something I just light it up. So for example, we have the mix outs. I can light them up here. Up here we have some meters. You can choose here what you want to see. We also have those meters on the unit itself, and you can choose what you want to see on there. I'm just gonna click around here and familiarize a little bit. We have the routing here. We have a mixer, and we have 4 different mixers, so you can do sends from your DAW, set up different mixes here, or you can do direct monitoring through here. We have trims for all the analog ins and outs, 32. We also have this surround area, which I will go into a little bit later. Not right now. This is like a suggestion for a setup that I have here now. I haven't really 100% figured out how I want it set up. I'm still tinkering with some details. Yeah, so I have channel 1 to 24. Line ins is from the channel 1 to 24 on the console. Line out goes to the console. So basically now the first preamp on the console goes into input number 1 in my DAW. As you see, 1 here goes to 1 here. Then in my DAW I just choose whatever channel, the corresponding channel on the console for mixing. If I, for example, would just want a stereo out monitoring directly from the interface, I light up this monitor depending on what channel I want to do my monitoring from. Let's say 31, 32. Sorry, I can select both of them, drag it to monitor, and that's what I'm monitoring. In this case, I'm using it as like a sort of a hybrid setup where I use like the ins and outs, set up like a tape situation, console going directly channel 1 to 24 on the interface and out again. And the channel 25 to 32, I kind of have like a digital patch bay here. I mean, for example, if I want to use the first channel on the Color Do preamp here, and then I want to send that to the Stem Audio SA2A compressor, then I know I have the SA compressor here on the channel 27. So what I do then is I take the color preamp, go to channel 27 line out. That means the signal now comes back to line in with the SA2A. And then I want to have that going to the 1176. I know some people do it the other way around, but that's how I do it. The 1176, let's put that into number 1, like that. So this way, it doesn't like have to go to my computer before it processes again. It just goes in and out of the interface itself. Another cool thing I can do here with my setup, I have the Behringer PowerPlay 16 that I'm going to use for like monitoring when I'm recording here at home. And since it has 8 ADAT inputs and the Orion 32 has 8 ADAT outputs, which means we can have the ADAT out here. We have 4 mixers. So we take mixer 1. We have the DAW out 1 to 32. Yeah, we can take 1 to 32. Take that to mixer in 1. Also to mixer 2. 3 and 4. Then we can turn them off here. We don't need to see them here. And then we turn them on here. Like that, I have 4 unique stereo mixes that I can send to anyone recording, or they can also put the balances themselves between like 4 different stems or whatever I want to do. And the mixers, I find them here on the mixer. So I have mixer 1, 2, 3, 4. Mixer 1 also has a built-in reverb, DSP powered reverb. You do the mix here for the monitor listening. It will then show up here. I send it to ADAT out. It will go out to the monitor unit. And what I'm also using this interface for is now I bring it to the big recording studio where I work. Back there we have the DigiDesign one, I don't know, you know what it is, some old DigiDesign interfaces and an old Apple computer that works perfectly with Pro Tools, the Pro Tools setup that is used there. I use Cubase, but I can't run the latest Cubase on that computer. And I can't run those interfaces on my computer because the firmware doesn't work together with my Mac OS. So now what I simply can do is just unplug the cables, which is very easy. It's just the DB25 connectors on the back and the electricity. And I just pull the rack out, put it in a bag, bring it with me to the studio and just plug it in there. And then I can just run my laptop with this interface and everything just works. And when I do that, I run just this setup, which is not much difference, but I just don't want to have it cluttered with my presets from here. So it's just 32 in and out. Everything shows up there on the console there in the patch bay and everything. So everything just works. You can also have hardware presets here and software presets. I'm focusing now on the hardware presets. So I have a similar thing that I did here before. I run the color preamp into the SA2A, SA2A to the 1176, and then I go the 1176 into DAW input 25, because I don't want to clutter the 1 to 24 ins and outs of the console. So I go in here and I save that to the hardware preset 2. I saved preset 1 as sort of a reset preset. So what I can do now, if I press the P bottom 1, it resets. If I'm back in a session where I know I just want this set up now, what I always use for vocals, for example, I just put the P2 and that session is back, which is very convenient. If you have a couple of different things that you always use the same every time, you can just save that on those buttons. I have some ideas how to use this as like a sort of a monitor selector, and I will probably make a video about that on my channel. And now for the main event of the new Gen 4, we have the surround control surface. And this is really, really amazing. I haven't started doing my monitor compensation EQ here yet, because I'm not really done with this room. But in here, you can control everything from stereo up to 9.1.6. And you have control over all different speakers, which you then connect to the outputs, obviously. You have crossovers here. I just run stereo now. If you have a sub, you can run 2.1. And you have a crossover in here if you don't want to use the crossovers of the monitors itself. For example, I'm slightly off center in the room. On that side behind the camera, there's a door that you can't close. It's open that way. In this direction, it's a corner that I will do some treatment to, but in my mind, I think this side will be a little bit bass heavier due to reflections from that side. So here I can find the frequency where it will be an issue, and I can even it out a little bit between left and right. Or if I need the same on both, I can copy speaker, go to the next one, paste speaker, and I have the same EQ settings on both. This is particularly useful in a surround setup where the speakers are all around the room and you have to even them out. You can also do delay compensation between the different speakers. Perfect for an Atmos setup, for example. Antelope also has a hardware controller that you can connect. I don't have it, but with that you can control the full surround system in one physical unit and have that as a monitor controller. If you don't have that, you can just control the surround level from here, or you can have this free-floating little thing, switch between different setups. This also works with a regular stereo monitor setup, listen mono, mute, dim. And I had this little idea, if you have like an iPad or something as an extra screen with touchscreen, you can put this thing on there and you can have it in front of you to control. And I will reset the EQ. And yeah, of course, the surround level and everything can also be controlled from the unit itself. And yeah, there's also some settings you can do up here. I've set the USB channels to 32. That means I have 32 channels in and out of my DAW in Cubase. It can be set to 24 if you have some issues with syncing or latency or whatever, but it works fine for me. You can set the brightness of the screen. You can do DC coupled inputs and outputs. Yeah. Trim monitors, everything here. If you use a Thunderbolt setup, you can get up to 128 channels in and out of your DAW. I'm gonna get a cable to try that out because I feel like there's a lot of routing opportunities that comes with that, even if I don't have more than 32 physical analog ins and outs of the unit, because then I could possibly like run different submixes out from Cubase into the Orion control surface and then just choose wherever I want to put them out physically or combine them in the Orion control mixer. But anyways, I'm gonna pack this down and we're gonna go to the recording studio and I'm gonna show you how I work with it there. So here we have the original setup in the studio. We have those DigiDesign 192s. For them here, we have 32 analogs ins and 48 out, and then we have a bunch of digital. I'm not sure exactly how many, but there they are, 4 double racks. Down here I have plugged in the Orion 32 Gen 4, 32 in and 34 out analog. In total we have 128 channels in and out if you count the digital connections too. The Orion is completely quiet, while the DigiDesign is quite noisy. So going back here may look a bit messy, but it's pretty straightforward. I just move those DB25 connectors, the ins and outs, from the DigiDesign interfaces to the Orion. So on the Harrison console here, I'm running 14 channels of drums directly from the preamps. So we have 14 channels going to the Orion 32. Maybe I will put some guitar and stuff on it too. We'll see. So just by connecting the DB25s on the back of the interface, everything gets accessible here from the patch bay, and through there everything goes out to the whole console, so it's really efficient and easy to just swap interfaces. It felt good, so I just feel like I'm gonna record some guitars too. I'm recording through this really small practice amp here. It's actually my girlfriend who got it when she bought a guitar a couple of years ago. It's just been sitting in a closet, and I just tried it the other week and realized that it sounds really cool recorded. So I have my GCI guitar going into this rat pedal, into the GF15 amp, mic'd up with a 421. So let's go. Yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. That's the Orion 32 Plus Gen 4. And to be honest, if you, like me, have a studio focused on a lot of analog gear and you already have most of the mic pre's and everything you need, as I said in the video, there is not so much competition on the market. There used to be a Presonus Quantum 4848 that had 32 ins and outs via DB25 connectors too. This interface though is on the market now. It's modern, it's up to date, and it can handle all the surround system stuff that you need. So there's not much competition in that price range or that does this specific thing. So if that's something for you, check it out. Thank you so much to Warren Hewitt and the guys at Produce Like a Pro for letting me guesting at the channel once again. And also don't forget to like and subscribe, and also, you know, comments, ask questions if you want to. I'll be there answering, and see you next time. Bye bye. Cheers.